Thing is up. There I am. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of whatever this is that I'm trying to set up. Haven't gotten a new webcam yet, so we have to deal with this muddy, yucky picture for a little while before I actually do get something. Hey, Rad Robbed, and James Blanton. Welcome. Those are majestic trees. I use them for the intros to some of the reviews. Alright, so I didn't really have a plan for this video yet. I just wanted to sort of riff on some things. If you guys have any theories or ideas about what's going on in the last, how many episodes? 3 hours. 3 hours, guys. 3 hours. That's all we have left. If you guys have any ideas what's going on in the last 3 hours, please share them. Now, I did get something in the mail today that I felt a little, ashamed that I didn't know about this movie, especially being a David Lynch fan, pretty big one. And I've never actually seen this movie, but it was referenced in the latest episode, Sunset Boulevard. There you go. I immediately bought the Blu-ray. It was pretty affordable, so I didn't go out of my way. But I really wanted to pick it up to watch it maybe for the next episode, so I have a little bit more insight into what happened in the Cooper scene from Sunday, and maybe I have a little insight on everything that's happening in general in David Lynch movies, because I know he has a lot of inspiration from Sunset Boulevard. Breaking out my little Swiss Army knife. I'm going to pop this open right now. Didn't want to just bite into it on screen. So I'm gonna probably watch this sometime this week. I can only speculate that we will finally see something. I think so too. I think Cooper's back. I really do. There's no doubt in my mind that he's back. He's ready first. He's ready to kick some ass. I don't want to crunch that in the microphone. This is not an ASMR video. He's ready for. No, that is from Sunset. See, I know that much. I know that's from that movie. Although I'm pretty sure I've seen it. But it was a very, very long time ago, so I don't totally remember anything. I probably should have seen it a couple years ago when I was going through my whole watch all the classics phase, but I didn't. So I'm gonna watch this soon and then maybe do sort of a little review on that and sort of touch on what I've learned from that. I mean, yeah, James, I think that's what happened. I truly do. I think he just needed a jolt to the system. Apparently, the coffee wasn't enough. We got hints of it. The pie, I thought the pie was going to put him over, but it wasn't Norma's pie. So but he just needed to get that electric shock. And it seemed like maybe he was lured. Who can't transition from silent films to talkies? Yeah, see, I know the general premises, but I felt like there's a lot of nuance and small things in there that really I should really watch it and get into it. Yeah, I heard that about Charlie Chaplin. I forgot what I watched. I watched something on Chaplin a little while ago about his. I mean, I think Chaplin was a genius, but he was all. You guys know. I don't have to explain it to you guys. Regurgitate all that stuff. But you know what? I'm supposed to be seeing the chat pop up in the feed in the video, and it's not working. It's bugging me. But yeah, I'm super. I think Cooper is. What is my theory on Audrey Horne? Interesting. See, Audrey is a very think Audrey's a very interesting case. I haven't really had enough time to think about Audrey to come up with something. Honestly, I'm stumped by Audrey. She definitely seems to have some sort of kind of damage. We've pretty much got confirmation. I mean, she is Richard's mother, and I'm pretty sure that Cooper and Richard are going to have a talk about how he's his father. I know that's obviously not. I think she's still in a coma, or I don't think she's still in a coma. I think she's awake, but she's messed up. I think the explosion probably did some damage. You can't walk away from that. I mean, physically, she looks all right, but mentally, that had to have done. She must have if she survived the explosion, I can see her banging her head against the bars that she, cuffed herself to. So I don't know. I think. I hate to say it, but I think she's just messed up. I think she has brain damage. Pure and simple. And I think maybe I don't know. See, she does seem to be cognizant of stuff. She does seem to be, she has that attitude still, but she's just angry and very confused. And Charlie talks to her like a child, which is interesting. I mean, how old would Audrey be now? 40s, almost 30s? 50s? So you can't talk to other adults that way. So James and Audrey both have brain damage. I mean, it seems that way. James was in a motorcycle accident. Now, motorcycle accident... I forgot what Shelley said. He's just a little slow now or something like that. I think the same thing happened to Audrey. Honestly, I think a lot of the old kids from Twin Peaks are a little messed up. Except Bobby. Bobby seemed to he went the other way. Shelley's always been kind of messed up. She went after Leo in the beginning. I love Shelley, but she doesn't seem to have evolved too much in the 25 years, especially always just dating the bad boy. No, nothing against bad boys. I get it, Shelley. I get it, but I don't know. I think she's got to put an end to the bad boy thing. She has to go back. I mean, she must have given Bobby a chance, but I think I don't know. I think the bad boy thing is an issue. I think it's a complex with Shelley. Excuse this little pop up here. This should allow the stream to come in here. So hopefully. So whenever you leave your comments, they should pop up. But we'll see. Do you think we'll see Red again? I do. I think we'll see Red before it's all over. I think he's going to be into... I mean, I feel like there's still a story to tell there with Red. And Red is working with Mr. C, and he's already into... See, I don't know. Richard has to deal with Red. I think maybe he's going to take Mr. C, Evil Cooper, to see Red, and then they're going to have some sort of fallout. Maybe Mr. C is going to make it up to Richard in some weird way. I mean, I don't think Mr. C is Mr. C is capable of sort of, I walked out on you or something, and I'm going to take care of this guy for you. But, I wouldn't put it past him. If he just feels the rage that somebody, is threatening his son, his one and only, because I guess, you still get that fatherly instinct no matter how terrible, evil of a person you are. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Remorse. He might feel like the sick things too. I don't know what the extent of Evil Cooper's virtue or sensibility is. I don't know what he feels and what he doesn't. I'm gonna bring this up. Not sure Mr. C is fatherly. I don't think it's gonna be like a fatherly feeling. I think it's gonna be more like Oh, you threaten. He knows Richard is he's probably using. Oh, of course there's going to be a double intention there. He's going to see that. Oh, you're threatening my son. It's like a possessive thing. Nobody could do that except me, kind of thing. I could see that happening. I don't know. I don't know if it will. This is just me spitballing a little bit. So yeah, that's my idea of that. The whole Richard thing is super interesting because I mean Richard is half. I mean he's half doppelganger, or I really want to know the biology of this. Does the doppelganger possess very? I mean, if he had Richard, obviously he possesses very realistic human biology, but how close to an actual person is the doppelganger? It's really interesting. I mean, these are things we're never gonna get answers for ever, but what can you do? Sorry, I just want to fix this a little bit. I started a new thing with my my channel, so you see the stream up on the side. Reminds me of Lil. Yeah. Yeah, it was a man. I didn't realize that at first either. I mean, it didn't catch me. It didn't I wasn't cognizant of it at first. But it is a dude. It was a dude, dressed up. But that was probably one of the creepiest things, especially after the credits roll. I knew there was going to be something strange when they held that shot on the motel or whatever, and the person that was watching with me was ready to go to Game of Thrones, and I'm like, dude, hold up, something's going down right now, and sure enough, something did go down. 1 second, fixing this thing, trying to get my stream in order. I thought I had it in order before I started, but it doesn't seem to be that way. I just want everybody to see I want people to see after the stream is over what everybody was talking about. I also have something else to share with you guys in a second. There we go. I think we have this set up. Alright. I think we're good. What do you think of the Ruby scene, the girl screaming in the roadhouse? I thought that was interesting. I didn't expect to see that. Especially Charlene Yee. I've seen her in things with Michael Cera and whatnot. I don't know much about her, but she's always sort of a quirky person. I mean, I know that it's her screaming sort of on her hands and knees sort of mimicked Laura in Fire Walk With Me, but that's all I got. I think it was just sort of a frustration with the two men and her just sort of losing it. But of course, nothing is just as it seems in Twin Peaks. What do you think Laura's role will be? I did. If you saw my video that I did with Obnoxious and Anonymous, I do think there's like a lynching Avengers thing happening. I think Laura's going to come back to sort of. I don't know. I think Laura's the whole Laura thing is super interesting because I don't think she is. I think she's more than we thought she was. She's more than the homecoming queen. I think she's always been this cosmic being. Now the Laura we see in the show, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that is the first Laura, the only Laura. I mean, we know it's not the only Laura, but I'm wondering if like where she fits in. Is anyone noticing the constant cosmic duality of the Twin Peaks story? This is my yes. Short answer, yes. But absolutely. It's always been a thing, the whole duality thing, since I think the original series. I feel like that's what you mean, the whole just Twin Peaks as a whole. But here's the thing. I saw it as duality for a long time, and then I started seeing things as, what if there's three, like a trinity almost. Thank you for subscribing, Vincent. Oh, my Cooper thumbs up thing isn't there. See, this is all messed up. When you subscribe, I had Cooper giving a thumbs up. Oh, see, it's not there. I'm gonna have to upload it. Let's see if I could do that real quick. I don't think I have the GIF on hand. No, I don't. Oh well, I really have to fix this stream for the next time. I thought I had it on the right thing. I'm still getting the hang of streaming, guys. Oh, my computer is screaming. I'm gonna hold this for a second. So yeah, I think there is I think there's trinities happening. I'm not sure. Of course, there's the doppelganger, but there are also trinities that they've represent. I don't know. This is just a theory. I think duality and then the trinity, because it's not very. I can't think of an example right now, but I have a whole video about this going maybe a year or two ago about trinities and Twin Peaks. I'm trying to think about what an example was. But I think maybe there are 3 Lauras. I mean, there might be. If you count Maddie was basically Laura. Then you have Laura, and then you have the doppelganger Laura. So I just think that, and then there's, with the names, there's Mike and Mikes and Bobs all over the place. Bobby. So there's stuff. Philip. Gerard, Philip Jeffries. There's just a lot of, definitely there's a lot of 2s and 3s in the thing. So I think duality and trinities are prevalent. Why is Shirley credited in every episode? She only appeared in episode 2. No, I can't. I think because of the picture, her picture in the title sequence. I think that's the only thing that that she is being credited for. What do you think of Philip Jeffries' makeup? All right, I have some issues with that, but I thought it was cool, of course, because why not? Of course, it's cool, but it definitely. I think I said this in my review. It definitely reminded me of don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain kind of thing. And somebody said Alice in Wonderland, like with the caterpillar that's just smoking. It's sort of like a trip. I'm starting to wonder. This is a little far-fetched, but I'm starting to wonder if Mr. Cooper was, or Mr. C was, sent on a trip. Like what he saw wasn't real. I think it was sort of like he was like a vision almost, like they put it in his mind and he saw Philip Jeffries manifested in that way, because it's obvious. The whole Philip Jeffries scene, I need to rewatch this, I really do, because it was very confused. I'm still very confused. Jeffries himself seemed to be a little confused about who this Cooper was. I don't know if anybody else sort of understood. Maybe I just completely misunderstood that part. I just thought it was super weird. Let's see. I'm going to put this in again, just so we have the chat going. For some reason, the chat's not popping up. I'm going to fix that. Okay. Hopefully that works. Philip Jeffries saw Coop circa 1980. Yeah, that's why I want to know where in Jeffries' timeline this teapot thing is happening. Because it seems like it's happening. I thought it was happening now. Joey, Ship, Norma, and Ed. Of course. I think, if you read The Secret History of Twin Peaks, which I have right here, you see how like how terrible, like they just had the worst luck trying to get on the same page with each other. And I'm all for one one true pairings and all that, all OTPs and all that internet lingo. So of course I ship Ed and Norma. I really want. I mean, Ed. I think Ed is lost over Norma. I don't. It's obvious he doesn't know what to do with himself without her. He had Nadine for a little while, but I think Norma is his one and only. Why was the Dalai Lama with Mr. C at the box? Was that the Dalai Lama? I didn't know that was the Dalai Lama. So I have no theories about that. It looked like some sort of city, like some Hollywood guy to me. It looked like some like shady talent agent. I didn't think it was the Dalai Lama. I have to look at that picture again because I really don't know. Ruby on her 4 is exactly like Cooper on his 4 approaching the socket. The electric screen could be Janie E's scream. There's also electric light in the scene. This is true. This is true. There's a lot of like crawling on all 4 scenes in Twin Peaks. That sounds weird to say. But yeah, Cooper was on. I didn't even think of that. But could be Janie's scream. I didn't think of that. That's interesting. Who do you think that is there? Speaking of which, I didn't totally buy the voiceover guy, the voiceover of Jeffries. The first time, 2 hours ago, the dub was really good. I didn't even know it was a dub. Last week's dub was not great. This last episode, it was very noticeable and it missed the mark. So I thought that was a little weird that they didn't like clean that up a little bit more. But whatever, it's not a big deal. Joey, has Annie been reconnected or retconned, or is she dead? Walter told Norma she has no family. I don't think she's retconned. I think it's I didn't think about that honestly. Now that you're saying Walter, I don't think they know each other well enough. I think maybe because we didn't know Norma had a sister until season 2, and I don't know, and I don't think that was a David Lynch creation. So I'm not sure. I don't think I don't think she's retconned though. I think maybe we'll still hear about Annie. I think Lynch ended up really liking Annie towards the end. I mean, the season finale of season 2 ends on how's Annie. I mean, without the missing pieces, how's Annie? So I think we'll find out how Annie is. She might not be good. She might be great. I saw an interview with Frost wrote Annie out of Secret History. Did he? See, I have to reread it. I read it once, and of course, I don't think reading once doesn't do it justice. I've only combed through it since, but that's upsetting. I don't remember that. But how do you? I feel like I don't know. I don't think they would. I mean, it's such an iconic ending to a show. Like that was the end for the longest time. So she was in Fire Walk with Me. So I can't see her being gone. But that's interesting. I didn't think of that. The man from another place became a tree. Maybe there's a cycle of evolution from persons to objects for entities that don't originally come from the universe of the lodges. Well, this is true. This is true, James. Why do they have to communicate as people? Nobody. That's not a rule. Obviously, they don't subscribe to the same rules we do. So that's a good point. That's a really good point. Richard is a wanted man in Twin Peaks. So will they go to Reds to hang out? Probably. I think they're going to go to Reds. I think that is where they're going to go. While they go back to Twin Peaks, because now since Evil Cooper has seen Jeffries, spoke to him, and probably was very confused, especially since Jeffries seemed. It seems like Jeffries wasn't the one that told Ray to kill evil Cooper, although I think it is Jeffries. I think Jeffries from another point in time made him. I think we're dealing with more than one Jeffries here, to be honest. But again, I don't know how much information we're going to get. I don't know if any of these theories are true. I don't know if anything is going to be completely resolved. I'm sure not everything's going to be completely resolved because, we need some stuff to talk about for the rest of our lives, I guess. Who's Judy? I think Judy. See, Judy's a tricky one. I think Judy might be. I have a theory that Judy and Josie might be the same person. I know that Judy was originally supposed to be Josie's twin sister, but they might be the same person. They might be twin sisters. I think maybe even in the original series, even if it wasn't intended, they might spin it now that Judy and Josie were both in Twin Peaks and they both sort of danced around and did sort of like a parent trap kind of thing on the people of Twin Peaks to get their way. But that's just my theory. There's a theory that Judy equals Major Briggs, Judy Garland Briggs. First name is Garland. Yes, I heard this theory. I actually had a discussion about this theory. I think, it's possible. Like a code name, Judy Garland Briggs. I feel like that's too on the nose for like some sort of military code name. But that's just me. Judy is the monkey. And who's the monkey? That's what I want to know. I know the monkey says Judy, but what's Nido? Or I know somebody showed me the correct pronunciation of Nido, but Nido, Dido, possible relation, the same entity after an evolution from night to day. Possibly. I like that. Ditto. Major Briggs grew up in the fortress of the giant. I don't know if he grew up there. I think he might have been, taken there a couple times. I think that might have been where he went when he disappeared in season 2 during the camping trip with Cooper. He says he's been to the White Lodge, but I don't think where the giant or the fireman is the White Lodge, but it might be. I've been calling it the Watchtower. Could call it the fire department. And I think fire department is pretty apt because he's the fireman and he had all the crazy tubing, which I guess abstractly you could sort of compare to the hose that firemen use. I'm on the Major Briggs being Judy. I mean, Major Briggs completely might be Judy. I would love if Major Briggs was Judy. I miss Major Briggs. I wish Major Briggs was like the first character in the original series to make me well up and tear up, especially when he has that discussion with Bobby, fire department. I mean, why not? Well, that's such a weird thing. I mean, fireman does seem like such a I'm a fireman, but again, fire is such a worldly thing and universal thing, galactic thing, heat, fire, electricity, all that stuff. Joey, did you see Sarah Palmer's face on the Jumping Man? I did. I've seen those shots. I knew there was something weird with that when I first saw it. Then I saw the screenshots online. It looks like Sarah's face, but there are some shots that also make me think it might be Bowie's face because they're both kind of old. They might have used an older photo of Bowie, and they both have like very similar thin eyebrows, but it's probably Sarah. But it kind of looked like Bowie. Attacking Time Lord says in episode 8, how do we go from the atomic blast to the fortress? The fortress subatomic? I think the fortress stands apart from everything else. I think it's a lot like the Dark Tower in Stephen King's universe. I think they might come from the same idea. I saw a thing about Enochian magic and how there's a watchtower and then like the pegs of the universe surrounding it, a lot like in the Dark Tower. So in my head, I've been thinking of Dark Tower. I think it's a lot like this. It's like in the center of the universe, and it just has a sight on all these things. So, I don't know. I think the fireman has his job cut out for him. Who knows how many plates he's spinning. exactly. It was the Michael Jackson face. Annie, are you okay? I like that. um, that'd be a cool joke. It'd probably upset a lot of people, but I'd appreciate a stupid joke like that coming through. Um, I mean, I've made that joke myself the first time I watched it. Is Steven dead? Good question. I want to say yes, but again, he wasn't. He didn't actually get shot on screen. I was like hoping. I kind of like seeing people, come back from like the brink and turn their lives around. So I was really hoping that the giant would just open up a portal and suck him through the last minute, which possibly we heard the gunshot, but doesn't mean he shot himself. I mean, it's very possible. It is Twin Peaks, but anything, and everything is possible in Twin Peaks world. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I think we're gonna see the Avengers assemble, and I call them the Avengers, Justice League, whatever you want to call it, the Lynchian Avengers. It just sounds a lot more fun to me. I've read Catching the Big Fish. I finished reading it a couple weeks ago. There's a big theme of unified theory, things eventually coming together to work out a problem, whatever you define as a problem. And it seemed, you see the pieces on the chessboard moving around and putting people in certain places to enact some kind of, change. Like James and his friend with the green glove, that I keep forgetting his name. So if you guys, please remind me what his name is. The dude with the green glove that knocks the two guys in the bar out, makes them almost comatose and brain dead, ends up in just a holding cell with Nido, Chad, and who I'm assuming is Billy. And I think they were put there. Obviously, I mean, it seems kind of crappy. Now two of our favorite guys are in jail, but one has a super powered fist, and there's people coming after Nido. Apparently, the woodsman. I'm not so sure the woodsman, but they're coming after Nido, and you have this guy with a super powered fist there to protect her. So I think it's just gonna work out. When a young couple goes into the woods in Twin Peaks, some guy gets his head blown off like in Fire Walk with Me. This is true. I do think, and bear with me, I think Lynch wants to go for some redemption. I do think it's going to have a happy ending. I talked about this in the Obnoxious and Anonymous video. I do think it's going to have a happy ending. Lynch, his films are usually pretty happy and fun. There's a lot of darkness around it, but there are these good wins, basically. There are wins. And a lot of love and family and friendship and all this stuff. And it sounds like a Disney movie, but it's a lot like real life. Things come together, especially if you sort of will it into being. And I know that's what Lynch is about. He does a lot of the meditation, and it's all about, putting your intention out there. And I think we saw that with Cooper or Comatose, because we know Cooper he just wants to do the right thing all the time. And I think, especially seeing Mr. Jackpot's lady come to him in the diner and just be like ecstatic, and he hasn't done anything, but I think just Cooper he has like the goodness around him, and it's super interesting. That's my theory anyway. Do you think Wilson will ever get anything right? I don't know. I don't know. Linda must be Richard's twin sister. Interesting. I wonder if there's a duality there. Like we mentioned before, I wonder if Linda is like the ultimate good. I wonder if she's like a humanitarian and roaming the globe and fixing everything and trying to... Interesting. I really hope we see Linda and she's just like this beacon of beauty and hope and love and stuff. That would be a good antithesis to Richard. But I feel like there's might be some redemption to Richard. He did kill a child, but I also think he was just he came from a broken home. I mean, he's more or less the spawn of Satan, Siren. But I feel like maybe Richard might get some redemption, or he might be pulled through the mud. I don't really know where that's gonna go. It's super interesting, and I'm curious to see how the whole Richard thing plays out. Obviously, he's been just the worst person the whole season, but I think he's an interesting character, and the whole thing with the kid, it still kind of hurts my chest a little bit thinking about. But I'm really curious to see where Richard will go. Drunk is Parrot Jailbird, also Jailbird. Oh, nice. I didn't. It took me a second. Also, I want to see him start translating NATO. You might get that. He's mimicking, and he's doing it sort of in a weird way. What's the noise in the Great Northern? Interesting question, because I've been listening to a lot of I've been getting into a lot of Reiki stuff and spiritualism stuff, and that noise sounds a lot like when you hit a tuning fork. I don't know what frequency it is, but is it a frequency for something? I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think the noise is ominous. I think it is a guiding noise, and I think that's exactly what it's doing. But it's strange that they didn't show what it was, especially this last episode. We see James, we see his buddy, and they're talking about they're in the bar, but Josie, I don't think it's a person. I think it's going to be an object. We've been seeing a lot of just strange objects, but excuse me, I'm sure we'll find out soon, hopefully. I think if somebody knows what rate that is, what sound that is, they'll be able to find out what the meaning of it is. That sound, that frequency has a certain meaning. Something's wrong with Norma's family. He apparently told Walter she didn't have one at some point, and she denied it now. The secret history also contains some discrepancies regarding Norma's family. This is why I'm not sure if Annie's been retconned in secret history. I think Annie might have had something to do with the discrepancies in the secret history. Possibly. That is a newer theory I have, which I should have mentioned before, but I think we know how Annie is, and I think Annie's been busy. But I'm not sure. I also think Norma didn't trust Walter. That relationship seemed it was very businesslike. Obviously, he's helping her run her business, but she obviously doesn't seem to trust him at all either. Her heart wasn't really that into it. She seemed kind of super skeptical of everything he said, and he seemed very pushy. And Norma's a very, I don't want to say small town girl, but she likes her small life, and she likes all that stuff. So I thought, could Annie be Norma and Ed's daughter? No. Maybe. I mean, they are very different in age, and they could pass them off as sister, but possibly. I know it might be a little far-fetched, but I don't put that out of the realm of possibility. That's very interesting. Very interesting. I never actually thought of that. Could Annie be Norma and Ed's daughter? You just rocked my brain for a second. Interesting. So I want to show you guys a little fun thing that I bought on Amazon for a decent price, reasonably priced. I bought the Welcome to Twin Peaks guide. There's a little bit of a glare there. I haven't gotten through it totally though. I do. I want to get through it. I want to make a video about it, sort of abbreviate it. Really interesting stuff here. Like, here's one that I thought might be relevant. Twin Peaks Passion Play. 12 Douglas firs describe a circle. They appear strong enough to support the sky, and their collective age stretches back almost to Pleistocene. excuse me if I'm not pronouncing that right. Pleistocene. You want the giants to speak, tell you of the amazing history running along their grain in which the never-ending quest is given substance. You feel close to the beginning. It is Glastonbury Grove. You're standing in a part of Ghostwood National Forest, and backdrop for Twin Peaks' pentannual Passion Play every 5 years or so. I'm trying to see where... Alright, I'm just going to show you this image because I thought it's really interesting, but this bearded dude. There's a lot of little nuggets in here that I feel like have... thanks for subscribing, man. Appreciate it. Tails is jumping with joy. I really need to get the Cooper thing in there for next time. I'm seeing where I found it. I found something cool. There's a lot of irrelevant stuff in here. But interesting. Did you see the Al Cave ring on Showtime Store? I do too, but the price, I don't know. I'm not. I ain't rich. Let me tell you that much. Where the hell is it? I like how there's a whole thing about fishing lures and hooks and stuff. Really, it's such a for an Uber fan. You got Pete, guys. Pete, I miss Pete. I really miss Pete. I feel like if I read this whole thing, I'm gonna find out some stuff. But there was one thing I want to show you. You might have seen it already. I've seen pictures of it floating around the web of the frog moth. Catherine. Because I think... yes, here we go. Frog moth. I'm going to see if I can read the entry. Chinook legend describes the appearance long ago of an ancestress of the Frog Clan. They tell of a house floating in the middle of a lake. On the house sits a woman, her knees, breasts, eyebrows, and the backs of her hands covered with flying frogs. Ever since that time, the flying frog has been viewed as a special crest. So, I don't think the flying frog that we saw in part 8 is as malicious as some people think. Of course it looks gross, but I don't think it is malicious. I wish they had more info on it, because that would be interesting. So yeah, I really need to go deep dive into this book. If you guys scour Amazon, and you will find some. I mean, I've been trying to get a lot of the old merch. This rules. Thanks. I try. I do try. Thanks for stopping by the way. I'm trying to find a lot of the old merch because I feel like, I mean, it was just so cool. Pretty Peggy Lipton there. Norma. What a heartbreaker. Literally. You think the frog moth thing will be addressed? I don't know. I feel like this string has been me going, I don't know. But we're 3 hours left. I think it's gonna have to come down to all of our own conclusions. We're gonna have to theorize about this after the fact. Again, don't forget there is a book coming out on October 31st. On Halloween, my mailbox is gonna have the final dossier, which pretty soon, if you haven't pre-ordered it, I'm going to be doing a giveaway probably around the time of the finale. I'm still debating whether I want to do a live stream after the finale or do a recording, like a recorded version, edited version. But I still have about 2 weeks to decide. When's Eddie Vedder going to be on next episode or series finale? Good question. I think probably next episode. I really want to see Julie Cruz close out the show with, Falling, at least. or The World Spins On, I believe. The lyrics on Eddie Vedder's song are worrying me. I have to look at that again, but I remember also being worried. I think we're definitely gonna see some deaths. I don't know who is gonna die. Obviously, it's probably not gonna be somebody. It's gonna be somebody we really, really love. We already saw Log Lady go. That sucked, of course. But I think we're in for it. I think there's gonna be casualties, whether it be at the hands of Mr. C, and Richard, who feels very little remorse. He does get upset when he murders a child, but it's more of an agitated inconvenience. Money's on Gordon or Hawk. I'm thinking Albert. Yeah, Rad Rob. I'm thinking Albert. I don't know, the scene where we're in the hotel and Gordon, puts his arm on Albert and he says, "Sometimes I really worry about you." And for some reason that scene made me think that something's going to happen to Albert. And we know the actor passed away, brilliant actor. But I just have this feeling in my gut that it's Albert, or or Harry, which is something I just came to right now. We might see. I mean, I do think Cooper is going to be back next episode, or at least I don't know if they're going to show him next episode, but at least the finale. I think I think he's back, and I think maybe he's going to see Harry. He's going to go see Harry, or ask about Harry, and they're going to take him to him, and he's going to see Cooper, be very, very happy, but I think he's going to die after he sees him. Maybe Albert is a cozy, non-dramatic role, like a slight comic, but yeah, I mean, but people are going to feel when Albert dies. I think Cooper is going to feel it. I think Harry had a little camaraderie with Albert. We haven't heard about Harry since Frank Truman talked to Gordon Cole, but I think we're gonna have a moment with Harry, or something is gonna happen to Harry. Do you think we'll go back to the glass box in New York? I don't. I think whatever happens in Twin Peaks is going to halt that project. I think Mr. C is the investor, obviously, and whoever that man was in the photo with him, somebody said the Dalai Lama. I don't think that's the Dalai Lama. I think it's whatever scientist or somebody that's studying that kind of thing that helped him put it together. But I think the glass box is done. But we'll see. Again, I don't know. It's just my thought. I think Janie E might be the go-between for Diane and Mr. C. Honestly, I love Janie E more than Diane right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm not alone there. Janie E. I could see Janie E like throwing a fit if Cooper and Mr. C come together. I think Cooper is going to be gifted with Janie E and Sonny Jim, a family for Cooper, and I think it's going to be a happy thing, and Cooper is so lucky that Dougie, the Tulpa or whatever he was, married Janie E. But of course, unified theory, like I said before, it's all connected. It all happened to lead up to this ultimate fight against evil. And I think Twin Peaks, I don't know if the evil's just going to end in Twin Peaks or if it's going to be put to rest. There's evil distortions and tears in the fabric everywhere, but I think we're in for a showdown where Twin Peaks is, given a break. I don't know, but we'll see. Shirley should appear, I think, not just opening credits. I think we're definitely going to see her. They're not going to just have... we're definitely going to see Laura, because, we haven't seen her since the beginning. She was ripped out. We're going to find out where she was. If that was her teeth in Sarah, we might have seen her, air quotes. I don't think that is Laura. I think Laura is a beacon of light. Obviously, she is literally light, but we'll see. I want a Ray Wise sighting. I'm with you there. I really want to see Ray Wise. My own prediction, Janie E and Sonny Jim won't make it. I'll be so upset. I love Naomi Watts. And Sonny Jim, that kid is pretty great. I've seen him in the Zach Braff movie, Wish I Was Here. He plays the little boy in that movie. He was pretty funny in that. Sonny Jim has a good chance of dying. I've heard that also. He could be a casualty. He could, stand up for his dad, who he seems to have. I don't know if he had a good relationship with Dougie, but since Cooper's been around, he seems to have been a little bit happier. He has his jungle gym. Cooper's been goofy, especially in the breakfast scene. So I could see that being sort of a tragic thing, and then Cooper and Janie E staying together. I could see Janie E being a big hero. I think they're both. I think that family is important. I don't think Sonny Jim is gonna. For that reason, I don't think Sonny Jim is gonna die. I don't think any more children are gonna be killed. I think the fact that Janie E, Sonny Jim, and Cooper are gonna, be in it together. I think it's gonna be a powerful thing. Of course, it would be heartbreaking and make for good dramatic television if Sonny Jim dies and everybody has a cry, but I don't think Sonny Jim will. Maybe he won't even come with them, because I think they are gonna go to Twin Peaks together. But again, I don't know. Laura's double in Sarah with the experiment, like Mr. C has Bob. That's what I thought. It'd be interesting if there was both the experiment and Laura in there. I honestly thought it was Teresa Banks possibly for a second, but that theory doesn't really have too much ground. What about the sick girl in the car? Random or resolution? I want to see the thing with that is I don't know what the time is. I forgot who it. I'm not sure why she's sick. I don't know if she just is sick. Just was this just like a shock moment in the show? Might be random, or maybe she came into contact with a doppelganger or some, Garmonbozia vomit and just wrecked her immune system. But again, I don't think we'll have a resolution to that. It might have just been random, but again, I don't think anything is random. Like I keep saying, unified theory, everything sort of. I think the reason the girl was sick is for Bobby to realize something else later. Because Bobby was the one that witnessed this, he might recognize it later if something happens. So I think it wasn't random. I think there might be some sort of reason. We'll see. I don't think there will be a showdown between good and evil. The good is a reaction to evil and vice versa. If one of them is destroyed, the other one is destroyed as well. It's all about balance. You're right. But I think the balance, I think it's about the lodge, though, because we know the Black Lodge is a little fractured. It literally fractured when the doppelganger kicked Cooper out. But I think there is a bigger. I think it's the defeat of evil in for balance That's a good point. I'm having trouble, theorizing about and making my point. But I think the Mr. C. Cooper battle is a small battle in a grander scheme, because right now I think the balance is siding with the evil. I think the evil is taking over, and that's why Mr. C needs to go to restore the balance. I think it is imbalanced right now on the side of evil, and we've seen that a lot this season. Just a large amount of terror and evil, and I think the reason there is going to be a showdown and we're going to see our team win is to restore balance, because evil is, and I think it's just sort of a comment on the world today, evil just seems one-sided. It seems like evil is winning, but there's just so much good that, can enact change and fight back and restore the balance, and good and evil can, be coexistent. That's just my theory. I think the whole thing with the season is that evil has been winning, and it's time to put it back in its place. And I think that's also another way of incorporating the title of the season, the return to a balance. But again, this is just my thoughts. Anybody could be right at this point, but I see it going in a very, it's sad, but it's going in a positive direction, especially with the change and stuff like that. Bad Coop is really good Coop. He remembered everything that happened to Coop. I think the doppelgangers came from the same thread. They're two pieces of the same thread. So I do think it's that. I do think they are the same but very different. They possess the opposite traits. I think Mr. C doesn't need to go. He just needs to be assimilated by Cooper, like anyone making peace with his or her shadow self. I like that. I really like that. I'm down with that. James, I'm not sure when I'm going to be making a live stream again. Depends on interest. I usually just tweet it out. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter to know when I'm going to do a live stream, or I might just ask you guys if you're up for a live stream. To join me, to respond to me there or ask, and if enough people are interested, I'll start another one evening. So follow me on Twitter at Joey Pedras, and I'm pretty easygoing, so you could chat with me. I'm not like some huge YouTuber. I'm very down to earth, at least I think. Would be that an ultimate mind if Mr. C was Coop all along, the doppelganger was Dougie. James. Instagram works, Tumblr works. You can always message me here too. You could just leave me a comment. I look at all the comments, so you could just leave me one on a random video. I'll probably see it. If Mr. C was Coop all along, that I don't think one was one or the other. I think they were, like I said, two strands from the same thread. They were pulled apart, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm going to say Gregors. I think they need to come together. I think they need to remerge, because I think when he went into Black Lodge, or when he was feeling the doubt, or whatever, he faced the Black Lodge with possibly imperfect courage, and it split him. But again, these theories are a little loose. I don't have all my ducks in order. I think maybe Bad Coop is a tulpa of Coop, not a doppelganger. If there's a difference, like he's the darker parts of Coop, and that's why he remembers. I think maybe the doppelganger whole thing is a tulpa. I think that's what it is. I don't think they're different. I think they're one and the same. I think because of course we've seen magic, and I've read the thing about tulpas, and they're just like Tammy says, they're magic manifestations. So I don't think the doppelgangers just sprout up. I think they're conjured, and it might have been conjured by Bob using whatever, or it might have been conjured by the Black Lodge or something else that we haven't seen. Did you catch? Yes, one and the same. I'm starting to think so as well. Did you catch Sarah Palmer's face on the jumping man? I did. I do think it could have also been Bowie's face, but I'm not sure. It did. I have mixed thoughts about that, because this is gonna sound so messed up, but they looked a little similar. Because I saw a picture of Bowie looking older. Somebody, I forgot, I think it was probably the Facebook group, but Bowie's old face and Sarah Palmer's old face, and they kind of look a little identical. Not gonna lie, a little strange, but it probably is Sarah's face. The doppelganger is wearing Coop's body, which has the knowledge and memory. I mean, yeah, but I'm thinking, yeah, like I mentioned, like I said before, I think the tulpa and the doppelganger are the same thing. Was Jumping Man taken from Fire Walk With Me or newly filmed? I think it was taken from Fire Walk With Me. Obviously, they edited the crap out of it to make it look new and interesting, or might have been a deleted scene or deleted or unused footage from the original cut of Fire Walk With Me, but I don't know. It'd be cool if we got to see more of the Jumping Man. And if it is the Jumping Man, who is the Jumping Man? How long has he been inhabiting Sarah? And what the hell is he doing? That's something I haven't really thought of too much yet. It is definitely Sarah's face. I've watched it a couple times to make sure. Could Sarah be Judy? Possibly. I feel like... See, I don't want it to be like she has like a middle name, or her name is Judith Sarah, or Sarah Judith something, but I feel like that might happen. But Judy's just like a ghost. I don't know. Judy is forever a mystery. I don't know if we'll ever find out who Judy is. If we do, I'm going to be shocked, but I don't know if we will. The whole Sarah thing is still throwing me for a loop. Mike is Philip Gerard. Well, yeah. This is true. Judy might be another spirit. I don't know. Maybe the experiment is Judy. It could be. The idea of it being sort of like a code name, or just something is being thrown around. People think it's Garland, think Judy Garland. But Judy is... I don't know, guys. Judy's one that stopped me the whole time. I still want to think it's Josie's twin, but I'm starting to think it's not. Maybe Judy's Nido. We could really throw anything against the wall, and we'll find out maybe if anything sticks at this point with Judy, because Judy could be so many things, and maybe Judy is a lot of things. That's not totally out of the realm of possibility that Judy is more than one thing or a person. Could Nido be Josie's twin? I don't know. I don't know if Nido has anything to do with Josie. I just want to know if Nido was an earthly being that was assimilated into the sort of other. That's what I'm calling it, the other, because I really don't know what to call it, or was she always just like an other earthly being? Cooper apparently knows Judy. He didn't know Josie's sister, probably. See, that's the thing. I think Josie's sister and Jody, I think Jody and Josie were doing, I said this, I think I mentioned this before, I think there was like a parent trap thing going on, and they were both sort of acting out a grand plan, sort of just pretending to be the other, or whichever. I mean, Josie sort of was the name that everybody knew, but I think if they are twins, I think maybe Judy was playing Josie, Josie was playing Josie, so they could sort of be at more than one place and sort of, create some sort of weird alibi for all their wrongdoings. But again, that's just my theory. I think there was like a parent trap thing going on. But again, might be wrong, probably wrong, but if I'm right, I'm going to be very shocked. The Jumping Man first appears in Fire Walk With Me. He also removes the mask, and you see the monkey which says Judy. I think maybe that's what seeing the face on the Jumping Man wanted to tell us, but again, I don't know. Pierre's the one who removes the mask. Pierre. The upside down, yes, the upside down NATO is from the upside down. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to do Stranger Things videos when that comes out. So stay tuned for those. I have a theories video that's it's more of a joke than an actual theories video. It was one of my bigger videos that kind of blew up a couple months ago, but there will be new ones. Yeah, that's like Josie knowing Josie and as Judy. Yeah, that's what I think. I think they were both there. We know how nefarious Josie was. But again, was Josie the nefarious one, or was it Judy? Because Josie seemed very sweet and loving, and we always want to think of Josie as sort of this double crosser, this sort of woman with alternate intentions. But then I think maybe Judy was the one sort of wrecking Josie's life and causing all this craziness, and they looked the same, so they were, and maybe even the only thing that sort of negates that is, who was putting the doorknob. Pierre is Mrs. Tremond's grandson. That's right. Okay, I realized I probably didn't know his name until right now. David Lynch's son, Pierre. He does have the face. I'm not sure. This is all very weird. To be expected. I love the weirdness. I'm sure all you do too. But yeah, Josie's a weird story. We don't talk about Judy. So, alright guys, this has been going over an hour, which is great. If anybody has any more questions, shoot. Or else I'll probably end this. I'm going to read this and probably make a video about it, maybe live stream about it. And I have to watch Sunset Boulevard. Excited for that. The whole last scene of Josie is contradicting that she is and Judy are both acting like Josie. Maybe Judy is just her alter ego. That is the possibility too. There could be like sort of a schizophrenia thing, a split personality thing going on, which I think is also very viable. And I think we're seeing sort of mental disabilities. I think that's what Audrey is going through right now. At least it seems that way. I don't study psychology. I've only have very little knowledge of actual mental diseases and disorders, but Audrey seems to have something, and I think mental illness is definitely very prevalent in Twin Peaks, whether it be depression, anxiety, some sort of bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, somebody in a hysterical nature, or being overly dramatic. I think it wouldn't be out of the ballpark for Jody and Juicy to be one and the same. But again, I think Judy might be something else. Joey on an unannounced cameos, you think? I think Harry. I still think we might see something from David Bowie, but this whole dubbing thing is throwing me for a loop. I was pretty certain we'd see Bowie, but again, they might have just filmed whatever last scenes with him. But again, that might have been it for Philip Jeffries. So I don't know. The only thing from Philip Jeffries we might have gotten is the teapot scene. So it was a little. I mean, it's a little underwhelming. I mean, it was a cool scene. Don't get me wrong, but if that is the last we see of it, then I'll be kind of bummed. But I do think Harry. I think we're going to see a sick Harry, and I think we might see him pass away on screen. I think once he sees Cooper. I think he's been holding out hope for Cooper. My final prediction. I just got a text message from somebody, and it's a log lady. Interesting. That is Oh, okay. I know. That was weird. My final prediction, the last words of the show will be, "How is Annie?" I think it's going to be a song. I think it's just going to be a song, like the series has been so far. I think it's going to be, I wanted to say Into the Night, and somebody else also thought this, but I think maybe it's going to be Falling. But we'll see. We'll see. The last word should be, "She's dead, wrapped in plastic." Harry won't be back. He quit acting. But I feel like this show is so beyond, like, entertainment. It is like, I don't know. I know I'm a fan and we're all fans, but I feel like this show is just, it stands outside of it's like, it's its own universe outside of the way TV shows and an entertainment business runs. But I mean, he won't be back. Catherine also did. The woman who played Catherine, not obviously not Catherine Coulson, but the only thing the Jumping Man does is jump. I want to know who the Animal Life guy is. If you remember, maybe in teapot form. It might not be. It might be over a phone call. We might not even hear him. I do think we're gonna have some sort of interaction with Harry, but I don't. Maybe Michael himself won't be there, but there will be something with Harry and Cooper. I hope. I really want to see that because I love that bromance in the original series. But again, one thing that hasn't really reoccurred is the Animal Life guy. The guy, he's in the convenience store and he goes, "Animal Life," and then we see the Judy monkey. I'm wondering what that's about. It's something I haven't thought about in a while. That might not even recur. It might come up. I'm not sure. So, it was just a thought that came to my head. Because whenever I think of a monkey scene, I think of the Animal Life quote. I'm really excited to see what Andy is going to do. We haven't seen Andy speak or like just stand up correct. I just want to see Andy's posture all of a sudden become like just this very soldier-esque kind of thing. So I'm really excited to see Andy in the next episode. Turkey jerky. Somebody told me a theory they had about this, and it was pretty viable, but I don't remember what it was. It's like the dream that Cooper has of Laura Palmer. I know who killed Laura Palmer. It came to me in a dream. I don't remember. That was the funniest thing. I think that was a little bit of a jab at ABC, but it was so perfect. All right, guys. It's been an hour. It's 9 o'clock here on the East Coast of the United States of America, and I think that is it for this stream. Of course, you guys can check out the next one. Follow me on Twitter. That is sort of the best way to get to me. At Joey Pedris, you can see it everywhere. Turkey in the corn, gobble, gobble, gobble. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Black fire, black corn, turkey jerky. It's like sort of it's like bastardizing Indian sort of Native American symbolism, I think. Just a little period there. Hopefully that wasn't like offensive or anything. I'm sorry if it was, but it's 3 a.m. here. Vienna. I want to go to Vienna. That's on my list. Tubenschaft, or Schaft. Vienna is on my list of places I really want to visit. I've seen pictures and whatnot. It's very beautiful. Austria, of course. I don't really know too much about the sort of inner lands of Vienna, but I definitely want to visit. All right, guys. I shall see you in the next one. If you haven't subscribed yet, I have to do my little thing. Yeah, I do want to go to Vienna, Austria. I think it's, from what I've seen, very beautiful. There's a film series called Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, and Before Midnight, and the whole, I believe it's the first one, Before Sunrise. It all takes place in Vienna, I think in the 90s. I just thought it was very beautiful. So, someplace I want to go. Alright, guys. Again, if you aren't subscribed, and I think most of you are, because I recognize all your names, you definitely support this channel and myself, and I appreciate it. I genuinely do. My channel has grown a significant amount since I've been doing the Twin Peaks stuff, and I just want to pass on the love to you guys, because you guys stay engaged, you talk to me and whatnot, and it's really great. I never thought people would be this interested in what I had to say about a TV show, but you guys made it real. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to this channel for another stream. Have a good evening wherever you are. If it's morning, if it's almost morning, if it's dinner time, you're watching this while you're eating dinner or whatever, bowl of cereal. It's not just a TV show. That's correct. It is community. We're all friends, and I truly believe that, and I hope you guys do too. I shall catch you guys next time. Stay tuned, and see you later. Who is the dreamer?